thanks for being here. This is great. I don't know if you guys know it, but this is being broadcast all over the world. We have people streaming live from so many different locations, so if you turn around, you can smile and maybe get on camera and say hello to people around the world. So, but thanks for being here. I think this is awesome. I remember the first time that I heard about MB30 and the 2020 movement. It blew my mind. There was a couple things that led up to that. In January, there was an Ignite conference in Chicago. And right before the conference, I was kind of like, should I go? Should I not go? But then again, Chicago is one of my favorite cities, so I was like, oh, I'm going to go because they have Chicago pizza, got to go to Gino's. So that's what kind of got me there. And I've been doing XANGO for a long time, and I was kind of stalled for a while. And I got to Chicago, and the meetings that we had there were some of the best I've ever been to. It was incredible. It was one of those moments where, the conference was called Ignite, and it was one of those moments that really ignited me. It was literally one of those things, and it was funny because right before I came, I read a quote, and it's a quote that I have on my phone as a screensaver and stuff, and it says, when there's nothing left to burn, you gotta put yourself on fire. And I was like, that's exactly what I gotta do because I had nothing else to burn, and it was just me. And so right after that, I started focusing on a lot of different people that I wanted to share the opportunity with. And Anton Garrity came to me and he's like, hey, you got to come meet with Tommy. He's doing something special. And so we were like, all right, yeah, for sure. So we met at a Neater's at a little bakery place over here in the morning. And Tommy sat us down and he had Camuela with us. And we just started talking. And Tommy started talking about this MB30 movement. I was like, what is that? And he's like, millionaire before 30. And I was like, that's cool. Like that, immediately I knew exactly what he was talking about because it was something I was looking for, something I kind of saw myself because the younger generation, the kids that are coming out of high school, that are getting in college, it's their future, It's everybody's future here that we wanted to build and create. And Tommy had that vision to really get in there and say, hey, we need to start something. We need to have some parties. We need to... It's limitless is choking me up. It's so exciting. But no, it's one of those things that I was just like immediately in. I wanted to jump in, and what I saw that he started with Camuela, with Tommy, with Anton, with Aaron and Joe traveling all over, it exploded, and it's exploding right now. I mean, I think our first meeting here in Utah, we had about 10 people on the very first one. We had a meeting last night with the Hispanic group. We had 12 people there. It was the first MB30 meeting we had in Spanish in Utah, and people are getting excited. We're bringing a new movement to new people and a new generation for XANGO, and it's all being done with the product Limitless, and that's what we're going to talk a little more about when Aaron and Tommy get up. But there's one thing I learned growing up, and it was always something my dad told me, and he told me two things, always. He never gave me a lot of education when it came to finances or a lot of things. He pretty much led by example. But he would always say, I go, hey, Dad, what should I be when I grow up? I'm still asking my wife, what should I be when I grow up? And it's like, but he would give me two things every time. He says, no matter what you do something you love and be your own boss. Those are the two things. And I was like, okay, the career I'm in right now, I like it. I don't know if I love it, but I knew where I was in that moment. There was no way that I'd ever be my own boss because of the corporate world and the kind of climbing the ladder and doing things. And I was like, I got to make some changes. And then I met one of the greatest guys I've ever known. I have to say that because he's my father-in-law, and Dwayne Dyer. And Dwayne just walked in. How you doing, Dwayne? Good to see ya. But Dwayne taught me pretty much everything I know when it comes to the aspect of network marketing and how to, what it really means and how we can really build and share a product and earn a residual income. That education is something priceless to me, and it's something I loved, I wanted to get into, and that's where I found my passion. So on top of that, this product that we're talking about, every time I drink it, I'm on my second one today. And so this is like, I just want to explode. I feel like a rocket ship ready to take off. And it totally is one of the greatest products I've ever had. Like seriously, you know, because you can drink it, you feel the effects of it right away. And I know a lot of the feedback that I get, people will take it in the afternoon and will be like, man, I can't go to sleep at night. You know, it's like, I take it at night, and when it's like, usually I go to bed pretty early. I try to go to bed early. My wife's kind of the night owl, but when I take Limitless, I'm staying up. She's like, what are you doing? I had some Limitless. She just like shakes her head. She's like, okay, whatever. You know, it's one of those things that it works, and it's an incredible deal. And I think it's great that all of you are here. We have some amazing people here tonight. If you look around this room, we have some great leaders. And I want you to pay attention, because what's going to be said tonight, what you're going to learn, can change so many different things. Because you can really be successful in this if you put the work and time and effort into it. And, you know, afterwards, after you've paid attention, write some questions down, write what you like, and talk to the leaders around here. We have some great ones, you know. And we're going to be hearing from some of the greatest leaders that we have in the company. And if you're learning from these guys, you're going to be successful, no doubt. So we're going to get this started, and we're going to get started with Aaron Garrity. He's the CEO of XANGO, and I want to have him come up, welcome him. He's one of my role models because of what he's done and what he's created for everybody. I think it's one of the coolest things of what he's helped us accomplish. So come on up, Aaron. Thanks a lot.
Yes. Wow. Thank you very much. Please be seated. You don't have to keep standing up and clapping. Seriously. Thank you, Joanna. I appreciate that. Well, welcome to our 2020 party. This is brand new in the world of XANGO, and I'm so excited to welcome our guest Tommy Johnson all the way from Surprise, Arizona. He's back there, and he'll be coming up here in just a few minutes. Dwayne, Anton, we have two 500Ks in the house. Nick Anderson, yeah. Woo! Yes. If you don't know what a 500K is at this point, it's huge. It's like larger than, like, I don't know, the sultans of you know, former life. I mean, these guys are huge. They walk around, they have people fan them, the whole deal. Nick is actually a premier. Nick and his wife Courtner, yes. Yeah, his beautiful wife Courtner. We actually spent some time in Thailand, because when you hit Premier Select in XANGO, we take you all expenses paid trip to Phuket, Thailand, one of the most beautiful places on earth. That's the part of the company that you're part of. It's an incredible culture. Who is here for the first time at a XANGO meeting? Okay, so yeah, way to go. Welcome. XANGO is a direct sales company. We are part of the direct sales industry. We are a health and wellness company. And we actually started our business based on this very simple fruit. In November of 2002, we drew a line in the sand and we said, you know what, we're gonna bring a fruit to market, a botanical. And I wasn't talking about Joe Morton. I was talking about a different type of fruit. Joe Morton discovered the fruit of the mangosteen in Southeast Asia. He was living in Malaysia. Now, he grew up in this industry. It was a pretty incredible thing. He actually grew up in the health and wellness industry. His father had opened up a direct sales company in Canada, and his mom ran an herbal shop. This was back in the early 70s, before it was kind of cool to take herbs. He was part of that whole generation who was bringing botanicals and herbs and vitamins and minerals and supplements to the market when it wasn't cool. Well, you fast forward here 40 years, and health and wellness is a phenomenon that has taken over the entire world. You know, most of the world actually references botanicals when they have issues, when you have health issues or needs. Not so much here in North America, but that has changed a lot over the last couple decades. Well, we drew this line in the sand and we said we're going to bring this botanical to market, and we did. And you fast forward now 10 years, and XANGO has become a multi-billion-dollar brand. 43 countries throughout the world, 50 distribution centers, 27 offices, just like this all over the world, and staff and individuals team members who serve distributors around the world. Over 2 million of them. Now it sounds like a lot, but it's not. There's over 7 billion people on Earth. XANGO's in 43 countries. So we tap into just over 2 billion of those 7 billion people. There's a whole lot of opportunity in health and wellness. Real quickly, XANGO's a category creator. What does that mean? We created the category of mangosteen, of xanthones as a dietary supplement. Never before in the history of the world has a company brought a category of mangosteen to market. We were the first. So it was a really risky position if you think about it, in the sense of we were bringing something that was virtually unknown to the world when we opened up our doors. The opportunity was there, and many of the leaders who sit in this room saw that opportunity, and they took it. They took it in the midst of an already established marketplace, and they carved out their own little piece of heaven in the process and created livelihoods not only for themselves and many of their family members, but for distributors and their organization all throughout the world. There are people who have retired on XANGO who earn a residual income every week, every month, every year here. And there are others that live an incredible lifestyle because of this incredible company. So we established the category. We were first to market. That's essentially what it means. I always like to bring out the category creator. It comes in a little red can with the white cursive on it. Anybody know what it is? Coke, right? What's the category? Soda? Wrong. Cola. Cola is the category. Before Coke came to market in the late 1800s, the term cola was virtually unknown. Well, XANGO introduced the category of mangosteen, of xanthones. And you look at what Coke did since the late 1800s. I don't know if you know this, but it was introduced as a health beverage for stomach aches and headaches. And we caught on, right, after the first 10 years. And Coke kind of changed its strategy and developed the category. But that's what category creators get to do. First to market, they always dominate the space of the category they create. We're a brand company. You've seen our brand all over. Our brand is seen all throughout the world. What does that mean to you? Well, as a business builder, as an entrepreneur, it means that you can start with a brand to reference. It's a powerful position to be in. Our brand is seen everywhere throughout the world. It's a company that prides itself in the science behind the botanicals, behind the formulations, an incredible, very lucrative compensation plan, and of course, a company with a heart. By our 5th year in business, we hit our first $1 billion in sales. But let me just say this, success doesn't happen by chance. You have to choose to be successful. And when you choose to be successful, you go after it, you can be successful. And that's one of the things that we have taught over the last decade is this, like Nick said, can be an incredible livelihood. Building a business in this industry, in this company, can be incredible if you treat it like a business. And Tommy's going to talk to you a little bit about that here in a few minutes. James Allen, author of As a Man Thinketh, said this: "He who would accomplish little must sacrifice little. He who would attain highly must sacrifice greatly." Bottom line is, if you want to be successful, if you want an alternative to what is out there in terms of options of creating a lifestyle, wealth, income, then it's going to take sacrifice. And it's going to be hard work, but the work pays off. And Tommy's going to reference that here in just a few minutes. Now, how did this movement start? In late January, early February, we had a leadership conference in Mexico City. And we have a 500K select there by the name of Estela Salinas. And she's an incredible leader. She has built her organization not only in Mexico, but throughout the world, but primarily in Mexico, where her organization thrives. Well, it was about 3 years ago that Estela had started to achieve incredible success in the business. She had hit 100K, or excuse me, Premier, 100K, 200K, and 500K within, I think, a 2-year span, maybe 2.5 years. And so we have trips for all of those levels, for the Premier, for the 200K, and for the 500K. So we took her to Thailand for a week. Getting there and getting back took it probably another 3-4 days. And then the next month, we took her to Italy, to Venice and to Rome, because that's where we take our 200Ks on an all-expenses-paid trip. So we took her out of her market again. And then the next month, we took her out of her market again, and we took her to Paris, because she had earned all these incentive trips. Now, that's above and beyond all the commissions that she had made. But interestingly enough, the trips had ended, I think, probably in the month of June, and summer hit. And so you take someone out of their market where they can't work for 3 straight months, and then you hit the summer months, what do you think her organization was doing? Was starting to get a little soft, right? Because she wasn't there, you know, continuing to help it grow. And I remember the discussions she was having with my partner, Joe, an incredible leader in and of himself. She was asking him for some ideas, and she called me in November after she had kind of honed in on something to do to ignite her organization, because that's what leaders do. And I remember she called me that first night. She says, my founder, she says, this is going to be huge. And I said, what is it? And she explained a little bit about these consistent meetings that she was going to be having, where she would tell the story and go through the opportunity of XANGO and you know, start to build her organization so they could rely on an opportunity meeting, so that people could bring people and they would know what would be said, and they would be able to bring people into the opportunity, and if they wanted to run a business, they could run a business. If they wanted to build a retail program, they could build a retail program, and so forth. And it was interesting because the next week she had her next meeting, and 8 people came. And then the next week, and that was 12. That's how these things start. That's how organizations start. Very small, and they get bigger, and they get bigger, and people get the vision. And then it was 18, and 28, and 50, and 70, and 120. And then she actually leased a house with the leaders that she was developing, so they could have the meeting no longer in her house, but they could have daily meetings in a mansion in Mexico City. And so they were having these meetings daily, and then they were having meetings 3 times a day with the training on Saturday. You see, that consistency just started to catch fire, and that's how momentum is. When you light a fire, you kind of protect that little match, right? You protect it from all the elements and things that could put out that fire. But once you get the fire going, the elements can't put it out. I mean, you know, as it grows and it gains momentum, I mean, it can turn into a forest fire where you can't put it out. And that's ultimately what happens through word-of-mouth advertising, direct sales, network marketing. That's what this business is all about. You cannot tell the story of a health and wellness product from a store shelf. It's impossible unless you know what you're looking for. So this method, this industry, the way we do it, word of mouth, bringing people to meetings, getting them on the phone, meeting them at Starbucks, talking about products we love, that's how it spreads. That's how you grow an organization from 0 to over 2 billion in just a decade. It's pretty amazing. And these leaders can talk to you about it. Well, here we were, it was at the end of January. Tommy Johnson had actually been asked to speak at this event. Now, Tommy's built a very successful organization as well. But it was different from this. He had a lot of momentum he had built all over North America. And today your business is in how many countries?
Over 30.
Over 30 countries. And you've been to how many?
3 or maybe.
3 or 4 building officially. Probably we paid for him to go to at least 3 of those countries. He went to the U.S. on his own. And he's built his organization, but through the network it carries on. And it carries on to the point where it gets a life of its own. Well, here he stepped into Mexico City, and Estella and her leaders, these leaders that she had started with 4 and then 8 and then 12, put 3,500 people in a room. And this had just started just a couple years back. The 3,500 people don't come without the 4, right? And I'm not just saying people, these are people who are building businesses. Because there's 10 times the customers out in Mexico City who didn't go to that meeting. But 3,500 people who are building businesses came to that meeting. And it was interesting because on that stage, all of her new leaders were recognized. And every single one of them was in their 20s. Pretty incredible. Right? Now, Estella has leaders in her 30s and 40s and 50s, probably 60s, 70s. I don't know if they live over 70 in Mexico. I'm teasing. For those of you who are Skyping, we have over 270 locations that are actually streaming into this meeting, some as far as South Africa, Europe, Mexico, buenos dias, buenas noches, and all over North America. So, yeah, so these guys actually upped the game of the people who were already in her organization, the leaders that were older. But the leaders that were coming in, that were doing, that were achieving success in lightning speed, were in their 20s. And Tommy, I remember I was talking to him backstage, he's like, how is this possible? This is amazing. And so he took some time with Estella. And he's like, I'm going to do this in the United States. And it was just a couple weeks later that I did a meeting in Arizona with Tommy. And we went out to dinner and we started to talk. And he says, I've got the guy. He says, I've got the guy. You see, Tommy started this business when he was 30. By the time he had hit 33, he became $1 million earner with XANGO. 30 to 33. Because he saw the opportunity and he worked it like it was a business. And he went after it. And he made an incredible income. And so, needless to say, that was the Mexico event. So this movement, which is a distributor movement, millionaire by 30. This was Tommy's way of drawing a line in the sand, saying, you know what, we're going to go after this market, and I'll take anyone who wants to go after it with me. A market that didn't even exist when XANGO started. You see, all the guys that are coming in, that are in their 20s, they were teenagers. They were 11, 12, 13, 14, and now the opportunity is available to them really on a ground level with a new product that we launched by the name of Limitless. So Tommy actually identified this individual, very passionate, very charismatic individual by the name of Camuela. I'm just going to show you his video here.
Hey, what's up? My name is Camuela Kirk, and your friends sent you this video because they're just as excited as I am about a new movement we call MB30. Now, MB30 stands for Millionaire by 30, and it's already changing the lives of thousands of young adults everywhere by allowing our generation to take control of our lives and our financial future. Look, guys, the thing is, high school and college only teach you how to get a job working for somebody else, but they do not teach you how to be your own boss and get rich. And even the best college degree nowadays doesn't guarantee you anything and usually leaves you buried in debt. But even if you did get a job, do you really want to work a 9 to 5 for the next 30 or 40 years of your life working for somebody else so that they can go out and have fun while you're making them money? Think about it, guys. It's time we work for ourselves and make our own money. Look, I don't want to be the typical 18, 19, or 20-year-old kid who's broke, and I hope you don't either, and that's exactly why I started this movement. And the heart of this movement is a healthy, safe, and extremely effective energy supplement called Limitless. Guys, chances are you and your friends are already drinking energy drinks, sports drinks, soda, coffee, or whatever, but the thing is, these companies will never pay you to drink and share their products. So, why are you spending money when you could be making money by referring your friends to Limitless and getting paid for their purchases? Think about it, guys. You get to be your own boss, set your own hours, literally work with who you want to work with, and you can make as much money as you want. You will never find that freedom working a job for somebody else. Now, we're partnering with a company that reached $1 billion in sales faster than Apple and faster than Microsoft, and they're called XANGO. And as great as they are, they've never focused on building with our generation before, but now we have their attention because this movement is catching on all around the world. And we literally have a team of millionaires and multimillionaires behind us who want to work with us and teach us everything that we need to succeed. And our goal is to make more millionaires under 30 years old than any other company in history ever. And guys, if you want to work with us, you can be one of those millionaires. The truth is, our generation is looking for a better option, and this is it. And honestly, guys, this thing's going where it's going, with or without you. and you don't want to look back a year from now and wish that you would have gotten involved today, because this thing is going to be huge. Guys, you know this makes sense, so do yourselves a favor and contact the person that thought enough about you to send you this video and join the MB30 today.
And there you have it. That's Tommy's guy. Well, he's not just Tommy's guy. He's really kind of a representative of the MB30 movement. John Zenas, 100K Select, right here with us, jumped on immediately and saw the potential behind this movement. It is incredible. And like Camuela says, his generation wants something different. You know, and Tommy's going to get into some of those details here in just a minute, but we lead with the product limitless. XANGO started with one product. If there's one thing we know, it's when you focus in your businesses, and that focus can go from night to night if you're having different types of opportunity meetings. But really with this movement, one thing we know is that the kids love to talk about energy. Who doesn't want to talk about increased energy, a higher income, and greater opportunity and improving your health? Well, we've got the product that actually does that. One that not only delivers energy, but that's actually good for you. And we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. So we lead with the concept of the opportunity, which is the 2020 opportunity. And ultimately, I mean, when we were first talking about it, it was 20-somethings get 20 people in a room so you can listen to the opportunity. And that's how it started. And it's taking the world by storm, all over the world, people jumping in. I've never seen anything quite like it. We lead with limitless, and of course the movement is MB30. We have a whole lot of people who are poised and drawing a line in the sand that they want to be a millionaire by 30 years old. Why not? Tommy did it when he started in the company at 30, and by 33 he became a millionaire. He said to me, he said, had I found this company a decade earlier, it didn't exist at that point, but had he, how would his life even be more different today? So we're very, very pleased to listen to one of the greatest networkers in the industry. Tommy is an extremely passionate individual. I believe he goes on record as being the highest paid 200K in the company, in the history of the company. And so you were very fortunate to have him in your presence with all of these other great leaders. But ladies and gentlemen, if you'd please welcome to the front Mr. Tommy Johnson.
All right. Hey, everybody. Cool to see a lot of you faces I haven't seen before, and there's some new. Hey, check this out, by the way. MB30. Zazzle.com. That's where you can get these cool phone covers if you want to know. Z-A-Z-Z-L-E. All right, let's see. We're just going to roll right into this. I appreciate that introduction, Aaron, and everybody being here, because this is the beginning of something big. Mark my words. Put my name to it and take it to the bank. This is the big run, okay? And you'll understand why more tomorrow when we do the training. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk a little bit about how we came to this. Let's just roll with this. This is my wife, Lindsay, and my two children, Sierra and Jerry. They're my life right there. And nobody could nothing's more important than that. That's why we want freedom. I was on the phone yesterday with a kid, came to the meeting last night, got on the phone. He was 19 years old, and he said, he called afterwards. We did a follow-up call. See, young people move fast. Those of us who are over 30, be prepared to stay up late, because these people move fast. And they are ambitious. This isn't their mom and dad's generation anymore. They don't want to work 30, 40, 50 years for somebody else, give their life to somebody like they've watched their parents do. It's not the industrial age anymore. Things have changed. Okay? It took me a while to really wrap my mind around it. But they move fast, and they're determined, and they've worked harder than anybody I've seen work in my group, maybe in forever. I mean, they work a lot. And you better be prepared to for a little while. We're going to do a lot of meetings, okay? Look, I had never done network marketing before. Prior to this, I had a bad attitude about this industry. I thought network marketing didn't work. I called it a pyramid scheme. I said you had to be in at the top. All the things that we've heard other people say. And you're going to hear, wherever you go in the world, you hear these things. My mom introduced it to me when she came to me this time, It was different than the experiences before. The people approached me with a lot of hype, but when my mom came, she was professional about it because she had good coaching. But I still wasn't interested, so after a while she kept talking about it, so I began a diligence process to show her that she was wasting her time looking at network marketing, and the diligence process really is how I backed my way into it 10 years ago. Because wealthy people said network marketing worked, all my broke friends said it didn't. And I started thinking, maybe it's time I stop listening to my broke friends. Maybe it's time some of us stop listening to our broke friends who say this doesn't work. You know? Why do we think we know more than the richest people in the world? That's what happened to me. And then something else, a great blessing, I met a mentor. And every one of us are going to be a mentor. See Bob Schmidt. He died 5 years ago in a tragic accident. But the last 5 years of his life was the first 5 years of my new life. He taught me how to think differently. He did for me what Dwayne Dyer and a lot of other people are getting ready to do for a lot of young people. He changed their mindset. He taught them how to make money. He taught them how to live. Taught them about freedom. And he mentored me for the last 5 years of his life. And that's what every single MB30 player is going to have, is an upline that has experience. The millionaires, that's the proof. Over 120 millionaires. That's proof that it can be done. We're the mentors. We're going to teach them, and they're going to teach us too, okay? Is this a pyramid? Is network marketing a pyramid? No. It's not a pyramid. I'm so sick of hearing that. I can't believe it. And the over 30s, you never hear that one. Maybe in Utah you don't run into it very much, but everywhere else, it is 9 out of 10 people in the under 30. That's it. Oh, this is one of those pyramid schemes. No, pyramid schemes are illegal. Pyramid schemes is a transfer of money. There's no tangible object. There's no product. There's no service traded. And you just hope that you get paid out one day before the Federal Trade Commission comes and shuts it down. It's so 1980. I don't even think I've heard a pyramid scheme anymore. Pyramid scheme? No, it's not a pyramid scheme. We have to take this head on. All right? In fact, Donald Trump says that a lot of times when young people say, is this a pyramid scheme, what they mean is, does the top make all the money? Well, no, that's traditional business. That's corporate America. That's when you go to work for IBM or somebody else. The CEO makes all the money and nobody's going to out-earn that person. It trickles down all the way to the janitor. That's that's traditional business. Network marketing is quite the opposite. Look, pyramid schemes don't get full jersey sponsorships of professional sports teams, don't have the best CEO on planet Earth represented as CEO of the Year on Utah Business Magazine, many other accolades, too many to name, and they don't have AAA ratings from the Better Business Bureau. They don't. So we passed all the tests. This is not a pyramid. It's not a pyramid scheme. And do you have to get in the beginning to make all the money? No. In fact, I've been studying this industry for a while. I pride myself in being a serious student of the industry, and frankly, you don't have to know a fraction of what I know to be successful with this. Thank goodness, because I spent a lot of time studying it, so you don't have to. But I haven't found a billion-dollar company, not one billion-dollar company in the industry where the top money earners came in the first wave. And if you know this industry, the second wave, the second growth curve right now, MB30, is always the big run. So you have a big run, and network marketing is cyclical like every other business, and then you have another big run, and the second one's the big one, and the only companies that do that is the few companies in the history of the industry that have somebody even close to Aaron Garrity running the company, because if you have the right person at the helm, the opportunity always grows. See, if you have the right person ran Apple, the right person runs Starbucks, Walmart, those companies always grow, but they're never going to pay us a dime. See, here in network marketing, when you have the right CEO and the right founders, the company always grows and the opportunity continues to grow. So this is the time, the second wave is historically, where the top money earners come in. A couple of months before we all lost Bob Schmidt, I was standing in the hallway at my house, and I called Bob and I said, we were having a conversation. I said, how come with all these billion-dollar companies is the top money earners come in somewhere usually between like year 7 and 12? And I don't know if you want to be a top money earner. If you're a big thinker in here, I'm talking directly to you. I'm going to throw some big numbers around tonight. Be prepared. For some of you might not want to make as much as the others, and that's okay. We can help you do that too. But I said, how come they all come in the second wave? And he said, Tommy, it's always been like that. It always will be. He said, I call them the young lions. Said that you've got the millionaires in place, that's the proof. All indicators are the right people are running the company, and it's going to be the next big one. They've done things right for a long time, and they come in with their latest tech savvy and their energy, and they take it to a whole new level. It's always been that way, and it always will be. And he called them the young lions. I didn't put that together when I went to Mexico. It was afterwards. So no, you don't have to get in at the beginning to make the money. In fact, It's too risky to come in at the beginning. Actually, you do. 95% of the time, you have to get in early, because if you don't, the company's gone in a few years, so you're never going to make money. All right? On the bright ones, XANGO, and we do it right, this is the big one when you can accomplish more with less effort. I just sat down and talked to Anton Garrity. He's a 500K. What did I just told him, Anton, look, this is the easiest I have ever seen it to build. 100%, literally, 100% are signing up at meetings. Or setting an appointment to sign up. I've never seen anything like it. Man, this is the time. And you know what? It's the generation. They need this. Under 30s need this. Their parents don't know how to teach them most of the time. If you want to learn how to be wealthy, you need to learn from somebody who is wealthy. We have over 120 millionaires. Everybody that comes into XANGO has millionaires in their downline that are there to work for them for free, to teach them, to mentor them, to bring them up. So it's just the exact opposite of what we think is a pyramid. These millionaires and multimillionaires can bring you up. And by the way, you can out-earn the person who invited you. You can out-earn me, and I'll help you do it. You can out-earn Anton. He'll help you do it. It is amazing. And so, no, you don't have to get in early. All right? This is a blank slide, it looks like. We just messed with this and did some tweaks today, so bear with us here. Now, here's how traditional business versus network marketing. People don't understand this, so we have to teach them. Traditional business, let's use Red Bull, for example. A Red Bull can is manufactured, say it costs 10 cents, goes to a global distributor, they mark it up 50 cents, say, we just made these numbers up, but now it's 60 cents, goes to a national distributor, and it's $1.10, then it goes to a local distributor where it sits in a warehouse, where the Red Bull sits in a warehouse until Circle K or whatever convenience store or Safeway, whatever grocery store you go buy your Red Bulls at, looks at their inventory and it's low, and then they deliver it to them and they mark it up to the retail store where you and I buy it. Well, nobody in this room buys it anymore, and the consumer, as the consumer, and it marks it up to anywhere from $2 to $3.79. That's how traditional business works. That's what we understand. That's what they taught us in school. That's what people think is the only way to do it. That's one of the reasons why people go around bad-mouthing this industry, because they don't understand it. People are always down on what they're not up on. And that's what we do, is we educate people. That's it. All I'm looking for is an opportunity to educate everybody that's watched this for the first time on what this really looks like. And what it could, See, if Limitless was made by, if Red Bull added a new product called Limitless, which they'd have a way cooler name if they called it Limitless, then we'd never be able to capitalize on it. It's a better product, it's healthier, infinitely healthier, and it works better already. And it's got a cooler name. And cans are like 2001 cans. Yeah, they're expensive to ship. You can't travel with them. You got to keep them in refrigerated cans. We call it my can. I mean, this is so much cooler just to begin with. You can carry it in your pocket, your gym bag, and it works better. But anyhow, then they go ahead and they pay a whole bunch of people. And I don't know, maybe the next Travis Pastrana or Shaun White or LeBron James is in this room. But if not, then you're not going to ever get paid by Red Bull. All right? Then they use their marketing. These markups go to pay advertisers, and they can use traditional advertising, magazines, billboards, TV commercials, and sponsoring athletes. So they don't care if the product's good or healthy for you, because as Aaron said, the store doesn't tell the shelves. The shelves don't tell the story. So they don't care. It doesn't matter. They override it with expensive, good marketing and advertising. So people buy it. See, in network marketing, your product has to be really good. It has to work. It has to be better. It has to be a better answer to a growing market trend if you really want to succeed. Well, the beverage industry is incredibly lucrative and stable historically. The fastest growing sector of the beverage industry right now is the energy drink. 15 billion projected to go to 30 billion. And if you want to be successful in business, period, you need to have a better answer to a growing market trend. Timing's everything. And I'll tell you right now, there's something to be said for being in the right place at the right time. And you are. And you'll understand that as you continue to learn more about this. All right? So look, here's how network marketing works. Basically, the manufacturer, you just take out all that money that's being paid to Travis Pastrana, Shaun White, all these athletes, TV commercials, and mark up through that distribution channel, and it's paid to you and I. The people who have the courage on what is tonight? I don't even know what today is. Thursday night, to come here and sit here instead of sitting around and watching somebody else live out their dreams on TV, right? So I'm happy for you guys that you invested in yourself tonight, and that we're going to go out and help a lot of people so they can go live their dreams instead of going out and watching. I teach my son, he's a very competitive basketball player, he's 12 years old, and all the time I tell him, hey son, don't play your video games too much. Why don't we go out back into the basketball court and work on your game so one day somebody can play you? This is the greatest business model in the world. We get to help people go do school. The professor's never going to teach them how to go out and become a millionaire. How in the world is a $50,000, $60,000 professor ever going to teach our children how to go out and become wealthy? They don't know. The system's broken. Only 1% of Americans are wealthy by age 65. It's broken. And the stars are all aligned because this country is less young people with more debt, less jobs, less money, and working more hours than ever any time in history. It's going to get a lot better, especially as the baby boomers start to retire now. And where's that Social Security going to come from? It's going to come from the young people's, the poor and middle class taxes. So there's never, that's another reason why MB30 is the perfect timing. It's a perfect timing because they've watched their parents for a while. They've watched what they've gone through over the last 5 years. They've watched them lose their homes, lose marriages, lose their jobs. In fact, 54% of people 25 and under are underemployed or unemployed. They're hungry. So that's how network marketing works. It's brilliant, but people don't understand it. So what they do is they get into a company. They don't know how to analyze the companies. They don't know how to pick the team. They don't understand timing. They don't understand the industry in general, and they just jump into the first one with some hypey person that tells them this is what we're going to do. We're going to make $1 million in the next 3 weeks, and they run around and tell everybody else that. Then when they fail, they go around and tell everybody when network marketing didn't work. When the reality is they didn't work. Okay. It's just a matter of educating people. That's all we want is an opportunity to educate people. And if they make an educated decision, 100% of the people do it. Okay? And we've got the answer. This country is dying of thirst, and we're giving away free water. It's actually mixed with Limitless, all right? So Donald Trump, network marketing has proven itself to be a viable and rewarding source of income. He was on David Letterman. What would you do if you lost everything? David Letterman said. Donald Trump said, I'd get into a good network marketing company. A good network marketing company. Not the best network marketing company ever, but a good network marketing company. The best ever is right here. And he said, I would find a good one and get to work. And the crowd started laughing at him and said, the crowd laughed and booed. And then he said, that's why I'm up here and you're down there. So, isn't that pretty logical? Isn't it logical? Doesn't that make sense? Why do some people we know think that they know more than him? And more than Robert Kiyosaki, who authored Rich Dad, Poor Dad. In fact, he wrote a book with Donald Trump called Why We Want You to Be Rich. Kind of cuts to the chase, Why We Want You to Be Rich. And he said the book was written in 2006, but you know what? It's interesting because why they wanted us to be rich was because they knew what was coming is coming, and the gap between the poor and the middle class was getting greater. And they were teaching us how to be on the rich side. For reasons out of our control, the gap is getting greater. Used to be this country was like a diamond where you had the poor, you had the rich, and then middle class, and then the poor. Now it's more like an hourglass. Rich, middle class, poor. So which side do you want to be on? I mean, anybody want to be on the poor side? Okay, good. Well, I'm going to teach you how. All right. In the book, there's a chapter titled Why We Recommend Network Marketing. He said, if I had to do it over again, I'd build a network marketing business. Interesting. Well, why the company XANGO? Well, real simple. They've done over $1 billion in sales, and they paid out well over $1 billion in commissions, over 120 millionaires, over $2 billion in sales worldwide. The opportunity is better today than it's ever been. They're open in 43 countries. And you say, well, what does that mean to me? I don't know anybody outside of this country. Well, neither did I, but my business has grown to over 30 countries. You see, people you know might know somebody who might know somebody who might know somebody. There's people on my downline right now from here that are in China working the business. And there's nothing I do on a daily basis that everybody in here can't do. It's just a matter of doing it. And we teach you how to do it. We know exactly how to do it. The 120 millionaires have figured it out. And our job is to teach you how to do it. And we will. And the millionaires know that this is the big run. That's why they're in the room right now. That's why there's 270 plus locations. This has just been leaking out for a couple months now. Not even a couple months. Check back in a couple months. You won't even recognize MB30. In about 3 months, you'll be like, how in the world were we building that 3 months ago? We didn't have this. We didn't have that. We didn't have this story. This wasn't taking place. And then three more months, you'll look back and say, how in the world were we building MB30 3 months ago? We didn't have this. We didn't have that. And then a year from now, I just talked to Anton. I said, Anton, 1 year from now, the momentum's going to really kick in. And those of us who do what we're doing right now, who are doing the meetings, who are talking to people, who are doing what we're going to teach you to do, if you choose to join us, we'll teach you how to do it, are going to have massive, massive businesses, and it's going to be out of control. I've seen it before. See, when I started this industry, Bob Schmidt said one thing to me. He said, Tommy, if you're coachable, and if you treat this like a business, a real business, not like you vested a couple $100 into it, you learn how to treat it like a real business, I will take responsibility for your outcome. I said, how can you do that? He said, because I know how to analyze the industry. He said, I know how to build this business like I know the score because I've been doing this for a long time. I've already lived the lifestyle. I know the importance of timing. He said, and there's something to be said for being in the right place at the right time. He said, I'm a big UCLA basketball fan. I record the games when I can't watch them. And sometimes accidentally on my way home, I catch the score on the radio or somebody actually tells me the score. I try to cover my ears, but I hear the score. But I still watch the game because I'm a big fan. So I sit down and I get my food and I sit down on the couch and I watch the game. And it's amazing how calm I become and how professional I am and how stable I am, even when there's 2 minutes left and we're down by 15. He knew the outcome. He knew the score. So he could work this business because he understood times like this. Because he had done it before. So he worked like he knew the score. So he worked, and I had to borrow his confidence. I had to borrow his track record. I had to borrow his belief in me initially to treat it like a business. There's a reason why I've lost about 12 pounds because I haven't been going to the gym and haven't been eating much. There's a reason I've only been sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night right now. See, it's interesting because I'm working MB30 harder than most everybody else, and I don't need to, and they do. You understand when I'm going there? Because I know the score this time. Oh, it's so much better when you know the score. This is fun. Now I just have to instill in people to borrow my confidence, to borrow my belief. Come with me. Come with us. That's why Anton's in here. That's why Dwayne Dyer's in here. That's why Aaron Garrity gets up and puts his name on the line because he knows how to. That's why John Zenas is in here because they know that this is the big one. Aaron Garrity's doing meetings and he's saying 2020. This is a 2020 party. This is the MB30 20. Sometimes I hear him do meetings every mention XANGO, that little video in Hawaii. I'm like, do you realize what this means to MB30? It took me 5 years of working my butt off and becoming a multimillionaire to get asked to speak on the stage because there were so many people, so many success stories. They couldn't have everybody at the convention, and I had a 10-minute video piece of me speaking there. That became my #1 recruiting tool. But that was only about me. That only helped me because people would say, well, check this video out. It's on his website, TommyJohnson.com. Check this video out, then I want you to talk to my upline. It's only helped my downline. MB30 isn't about me. That video with Camuela, that doesn't help him anymore than it helps everybody here. MB30 is yours. MB30 belongs to everybody, and it's edified by the corporate from day one. See, that stage presentation gave me edification. That gave me leverage. That gave people belief in me. Wow, what they're saying about this guy really is true. Here, watch it, then you talk to Tommy. See, Aaron knows. So it's okay that he says MB30. And that helps every single person grow this business on a much, much more accelerated rate. Now, I'm kind of teaching a little bit right now, where in a lot of the MB30 opportunity presentations, I don't teach as much, but because I know there are a lot of people who are watching. Why XANGO? Bottom line, it's just simply the best. I mean, they reached 1 billion faster than Starbucks, faster than Dell, faster than Microsoft, Apple, Nike. That doesn't just happen. You can make more money with this company than any other company in the industry. And it's just the best. Plain and simple. XANGO's rewritten the record book in the first 10 years, and we're about to do it again, but on a much, much, much bigger scale, and it's yours for the taking. It's amazing. It belongs to you, okay? Young Lions story. Well, I already told you that story about Bob Schmidt telling me about the Young Lions. And that opportunity that I had to go to Mexico, as Aaron pointed out, changed my life. Because for years I told everybody, you can't build in under 30 because they don't have enough emotional intelligence to deal with the disciplines of the delayed gratification. They want it right now. And that was my experience for the first 10 years. That's how it went for me. And so I literally discouraged people to work with. When Camuela came to me and asked me to mentor him at 17, we went to lunch every couple of weeks, and we talked about business, money, and how real estate. He wanted to learn how to succeed. He wanted to learn about money. Because he said, I must have missed the class on wealth building. They didn't teach me about this stuff in high school. And I think I missed that class too. Did anybody go to a wealth building class in college? I didn't see that one. It's funny that you go into work, they teach us you need to get good grades so that you can go get a good job. A good job? I don't want a good job. Because that's not where wealth is. 1%, the wealthy 1%, they're business owners. You need to be a business owner. That's the numbers don't lie. So working for somebody, worked home to work, worked home to work, worked home for 50 years and then die, that does not sound fun. You know, go on 1 or 2 vacations with your family throughout that entire 50 years, have to ask when you can go to lunch, what time you have to be told when you have to be there, when you can leave, how much you can or cannot make, get up to an alarm clock for the rest of your life. People have said this is hard to me before, but they do that for their whole life. This is hard. This ranks up there with brushing your teeth. You know, but Kamuela came to me at 18 and he said, I'm ready to do XANGO. And I said, man, I just kind of discouraged him. I didn't talk to him about XANGO when he was in the mentoring programs because I didn't believe yet, I didn't know that young people could do it. I thought, and I wrote it off as, well, yeah, I didn't put a lot of faith into Generation Y. I thought, well, you know, I made excuses for myself, saying that it was easier for me to say that they didn't have the ability to do it and the timing wasn't good in their life and say, well, they need more life experience. They need to be beat up by traditional business and corporate America for a little bit longer before they realize what they get taught in school really isn't going to set them free. Right? I was totally wrong. That was just justification for me not getting better for them, not adjusting the business model to fit into their lifestyle. And that's what we're doing. We're adjusting this business to fit into their lifestyle, and it's working big time. So when I saw that, I don't buy into the process. I don't buy into the thought that if you can do it, I can't. I knew I was going to succeed in XANGO when I went to my first event and I saw the leaders cross the stage in the recognition portion. And I called my wife. I said, babe, we're going to do this. She's like, what happened? What changed? Because you were making fun of it last week, you know, calling it schmango, schmungo, schmango to your mom. I couldn't justify that they could do something I can't do. And I hope you think that way too. So when I went to Mexico and saw Estella with all of her people, and all of the youth raking the pin ranks of 50Ks, 100Ks, 200Ks, my eyes lit up. And that dinner with Aaron, he said, whoa, clear the runway, let's go. Let's go create a lot of millionaires by 30. So that was a life-changing experience for me. And you know, you can't do it without somebody like this guy. He's the man. And then we came into this in one of the secret hallways of XANGO. You guys have probably all seen it. And we sat down. We sat down. And that MB30 was born. And put my name to this. This will be the biggest run that network marketing has ever seen. The biggest growth curve. You do not want to miss this. You don't want to sit and watch this one go by. This is the big one. This will be the big one. Okay? The product. Limitless, obviously. Bottom line, the market potential is huge. It's massive. Coffee is the #2 import into America already. Why do people drink coffee? They drink coffee because of the caffeine. If they say, no, it's just the experience or I like the taste, then tell them to switch to decaf. They won't do it. All right? We talked about the market. It's more, the product works way better. And that's just the blessing of what these founders put together for us. Highly sourced ingredients that work synergistically to give us a better effect. And it already costs less money than what they're spending on that, you know, liquid poison, right? It's a win-win situation. I mean, you can look at the calorie count, the sugar count compared to the competition. We win. It doesn't really matter, though. We don't talk too much about the product. And here's how it works. It's real simple. We get people to stop buying that junk, stop buying Red Bull, Rockstar, Monster, 5-Hour Energy, and Gatorade, these things that they're buying already, and start buying Limitless. And they're not competing against anybody in the stores. It's just a transfer of dollars. It's money people are already spending. Our friends are already spending money on this. They say, well, I can't afford to get in. And by the way, the reason people think they can't do it is usually why they need to do it. How long do you want a couple $100s a month to be an issue in your life? Really? All right? But they're already spending the money. So stop spending it on that. Sell your Xbox. Get in on this for 90 days. Let's go hard. Yeah. Sell your Xbox and let's go to work. This is about freedom. That Xbox is never going to set you free. We have people doing what it takes in MB30. These young adults will do what it takes to win in this business, and they're highly coachable. And the product just rocks. So how do I do it? You invite your friends, and we'll teach you how to invite. It's a skill. Inviting is an art. We're going to teach you how to invite. You invite your friends. You don't present to your friends, you invite them. You get them in front of us. You bring them to a 20/20 like this, a one-on-one at a coffee shop. We do three-way phone calls, Skype, whatever. These are the type of meetings we do. Real simple. All you need to do is invite. We do all the work. You get us in front of us, the more meetings, more money, period. The more people you get in front of us, the more that we get to educate on what this can mean to them, the more money you're going to make. And the more money they're going to make. And the more money those people are going to make. And more meetings equals more money. Then you get your product for free. It takes a minute to get your product for free. Sometimes some people are doing it in a week. We got people doing it in a week with a sign-up bonus, covering their product for free. You got it for free for the month already. But then your profit, then it's profit. Then it's residual income. You understand residual income is the dream. Residual income is freedom. If Beyonce records a new track, and then every time somebody buys a CD or downloads it on iTunes, or a radio station plays it, she gets paid every single time for the rest of her life. So she puts in the work on the front end, records, she put in the work for years to get to the point where she could be a star. It takes a lot more time to go make residual income as somebody famous than it does in network marketing. And then she gets paid for the rest of her life. That's network marketing. That's what people don't understand. Instead of earned income where you go trade an hour for $10 an hour. You go work at Jimmy John's, you work there 8 hours, you get $80. All right? That's what people, and let the government take half of it. That's earned income. That will never set you free. Residual income is freedom. All right? Show me the money. Then we're going to get you to $1,000 a month. And let me tell you, network marketing, it's full throttle to get up there. It's like a rocket taking off, and then it breaks the stratosphere, and then the engines drop off, and it just goes. So all that energy to get it up there, then it just goes on its own forever. That's network marketing. See, we're going to get you to $1,000. Then 1,000 is going to become 2,000. 2,000 is going to become 4,000. 4,000 is going to become 8,000. 8 is going to become 16. 16 is going to become 32. And it just keeps going as far as you want to go. The sky literally is the limit. This is wealth. Leverage is wealth. This is leverage. People, it's funny. Bill Gates has over 70,000 employees. Many of them have talents and skills in areas that he'll never have. And nobody's ever going to out-earn him. Nobody has a problem with that, but they think they have a problem with network marketing. They just don't understand. It's real funny to me. Money working for you, that's leverage. That's where wealth is. Then put in your money to work. Now you have the money to go put to work for you in real estate or whatever. Now that's freedom. Time freedom, geographic freedom, professional freedom, personal freedom. And anybody can do this, all right? Let me show you. Think about it. And I want you to think in terms not of who you know, and don't think that your people won't be interested. Don't make the mistake of making somebody's mind up for them. I don't know anybody that wouldn't like to make more money. Every one of us has a different contact list, and everybody that joins your business has a different contact list, and every single one of those people would like to make more money. You show me one person in your contact list that wouldn't like to make more money. Does anybody have any of those, they think? Do you have anybody in your contact list that wouldn't like to be healthier? See? We're totally unlimited to our potential. And people need money now more than ever in history in this country. And I want you, here's my first couple of months. I shared it with about 20 friends. 10 or so chose to join Lindsay and I. 5 ended up sticking it out. 5 stuck it out. Every one of those people have been pretty set up with what they've accomplished here. And those 5 have turned into 90,000 people buying product in our group. And it's given my wife and I total financial freedom, total personal freedom. And I measure success in time. And we can get more money. We can't get more time. So check this out. I'm going to show you how my business grew. And I don't do this very often, but check this out. In our first month, Lindsay and I, we knocked the leather off the ball. We made $18. All right. Second month, 28, 33, 73, 460, 751, 765, 916. 9 months to $1,000. These MB30 people, they're on pace to do more than that in half the time. They're better. They're better because the opportunity's better. You understand? The stars are aligned. This is the perfect storm. And you're going to have people doing what you did, John, in a fraction of the time. Dwayne, you're going to have people doing what you did in the beginning in half the time. But you're going to have to work. We're going to work to help mentor them and coach them. All right, check this out. We're going to go 12 months from then. So 9 months to 1,000. Let's go. It's 2,300, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 12,000, 18,000, 21,000, 24,000. Okay? Now that we're making $20,000 a month. It took 9 months to 1,000. A year later, we're making 20,000. Remember I said that we'd get you to 1,000, then 2,000, 2 would become 4, and 4 would become 8, 8 would become 16? Check this out. Let's go another year. 23,000, 27,000, 30, 29, 32, 49, 34. Now we qualify for a bonus pool. After a while, you start getting in the bonus pool. Now you become an owner of the company in essence, because there's never a product that's anywhere in the world. Some product gets purchased. In your upline, downline, crossline alike, you make money when you get into this bonus pool. Now think about that. Now you're getting paid. Now our MB30ers are getting paid on our efforts for the first 10 years, first 11 years. Because they don't stop. They don't say, well, hey, look, you get paid on the bonus pool starting from when you signed up till now. Whatever's created in the company from there till now. The opportunity is better from that perspective. That is so... Think about that. If you're brand new to this and you're checking this out, all you need to do is get in the bonus pool. And if you don't think, oh, hey, good for you, Tommy, because you're in the bonus pool. No, you have to begin with the end in mind. You have to expect to be in that bonus pool. There's never been a better time to get to that bonus pool quicker. And the bonus pool is going to be bigger. And it's going to be what the whole company worldwide has been working on for 10, 11, 12 years. It's huge. I don't even know if you think that big yet. But I don't even comprehend yet how big this opportunity is. It is huge. Aaron and I talking all the time. We're like, whoa, this is going to be big. The quote, my favorite quote, Aaron goes, this is it. This is it. This is it. So look, 35,000, 52,000, 36, 42. Oh, that's okay. 2 years in the business now, we're making over 40,000. So 1 year to 1,000, a year later 20,000, a year later 40,000 a month. You don't even have time to spend it. You're just like, boom, it's a 20th. Boom, it's a 20th. Boom, it's a 20th. All right? 54,000. 38,000, 37,000, 57,000, 40,000, 43,000, 63,000, 44. These checks, that's a lot of checks. All right? I don't know if your employer is going to give you this type of a raise. This is the only company, the only business. This is the only business I've ever seen that you can give yourself a raise anytime you want. Only Congress can do that. You know? We can do, all we need to do is just go work a little bit harder. Work harder at what? Inviting people. That's not that hard. And people need this. People want this. And we had the best story to tell, period. Okay? 45,000, 63,000, 47,000, 46,000, 62,000, 44,000, 47,000, 68,000, 49,000, 49,000, 114,000. Because we hit the next rank in the bonus pool. You know what those bonus pool checks are going to be when you get there? And you'll get there in half the time that I got there if you just stay close. Stay close. Stay close and plan on working hard. Somebody called it network marketing. I'm convinced they built a downline before they put the work in the name of network. Because I'm not telling you this is going to be easy. You're just going to sign up, step back, and magic's going to happen, and you're going to be making this type of money. We're going to go at it. But I don't know one thing outside of spending time with family that's taken, whatever this is on your priority list, bump it up. That's why I haven't been. I love to work out and be in shape. It's really important to me. But you know what? I know where we're at. I know the score. So this has moved right up there very high on my priority list because I know the return. See, the greater work, the more we work at this in investing, the more money you invest, the greater the potential return. The more money worth of silver or gold you buy, if you know how to buy it right, the more you put into it, the more you might get back. The more you invest in real estate, the greater the potential return. In network marketing, the more time we put into it, productive time, and we'll teach you what that looks like, the greater the return. What is the return? Time. So it's time to go hard. So check that out. I don't know of any boss that's going to give anybody in here a raise $100,000, make that kind of money a month in the next 4 years. If you do, I'll sign up with you. I'll join what you're doing. I told people, hey, if you've got a better opportunity, I'll sign up with you. Because my obligation is to my downline. If I can't look them in the eye and know that they're in the best place to be, I'm gone. And there's nothing like this. There's nothing like this that will sustain. All right? All right, check this out. In the first week, we started talking about, and last week, we started talking about, hey, we're going to make millionaires by 30. We're going to make a lot of millionaires by 30. Started talking about on Facebook. Limitless sales, or new signups in the United States were up 31%. Limitless sales, March over February, were up 100%. 8 months of limitless inventory was gone in 6 weeks. All right? You know why? MB30. And this is just the beginning. I mean, this is the tip of 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 the iceberg. 57% increase in signups already this month. So it's not if MB30s happen. Well, I'm going to sit back and watch and see if it happens. It is happening. It's happening. It's happening big time on a big scale. You go to the Facebook page. Facebook, click, go to MB30 Movement. Join the group page. Get your friends to join the group page. This is a recruiting tool. Look at the activity. This is all in 6 weeks. 6 weeks since that page was set up. And see what's happening. MB30 is not just happening in Phoenix. MB30 is happening right here. It's happening in South Africa. It's happening in Australia. It's happening in Mexico. It's happening in Canada. I helped somebody, 2 people. I did 2 Skypes yesterday, and both of them signed up. One 19-year-old in Paris and one 20-year-old in Canada. And they just signed up. I've never seen this happen before. People are signing up. We need to have registration forms at every single meeting because they sign up right then. And then we go to work right then. We don't sit around and wait for them to make money. We treat this like a business, and we teach them how to invite quick and then get them profitable. All right? This is a fact. I mean, you see meetings happening all over the country. I have a friend, Chip. He was a little bitty 1K. A little bitty 1K. Had been in for 3 months, a little bitty 1K. Next month, boom, 5K. Just made 5K just like that. So it's awesome. And soon there's going to be things unfold around MB30. There's going to be trips, I don't know, maybe South Beach or something, where some people might get picked up on a private jet and they take them over there and there's film crews and they're going to make video clips. You know what that's going to do to grow MB30 when they start seeing that and they start bringing their homies to these meetings and they've got video, living their lifestyle, doing it the way they do it. Well, I won't be up here for long. See, MB30 is really going to go when they're the face of MB30. MB30 isn't about me. It isn't about John Zenas. It is not about Dwayne Dyer. This is yours. This is, and guess what? If you're over 30, you still do 2020s. You still work MB30. Because if you help somebody become an MB30, guess what? You get more than the free water bottle. You know? This is a platform for your kids and your friends' kids. And your friends have kids if you have kids. You see? And it's amazing. It doesn't mean we don't, see, we can fall back on the other products, but the focus is limitless, as Aaron said. But when this starts happening.
What's the number one motivation that you're finding with the kids? What do they want to do?
When
they come in, they want to retire?
They want to retire their parents. See, we always know we need to have a strong why, an emotional attachment why we want to succeed at this business. Not just I want to make more money. No, that's not an emotional tie-in. It's very interesting. The MB30, they say, I want to retire my mom. That's what Kamuela said. The first thing, my first money is going to getting my mom out of her job that she's worked for over 20 years. Yeah. We're going to retire a lot of parents. Your kids, there's going to be a lot of children that retire their parents. There's going to be a lot of millionaires before 30. There's going to be a lot of millionaires before 30. That's the bottom line. And there's only 3 types of people in the meetings. There's only 3 types of people in this room. There's A, that's somebody that realized they just wasted the last hour or so. If so, we're sorry. I hope you enjoyed the limitless and the camaraderie, catching up with your friend. Or there's somebody, a B, that might just want to consume the product. And if you just want to consume the product, that's okay too. Good thing, because Aaron Garrity put together a customer program where you could get the customer product at wholesale and they'll ship it right to you. All right, now you're already doing yourself better by consuming a much better, healthier product. It's more effective. It's already less expensive. And see, and frankly, that's who we're looking for. We're looking for somebody who has a dream, somebody who's not okay giving their life to somebody else, somebody that wants to be in the wealthy 1%, somebody who wants to make an extra $500,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a month. That's who. Are you an A, B, or C? Look at the person who invited you. I'm an A, I'm a B, or a C. It's real simple. You don't have to go home and do a bunch of diligence. And this is non-negotiable. This is happening. This is real. This is not a gimmick. And you are at the very, very beginning with no risk. See, this is startup and stability together. Startup and stability. Everybody thinks startups when you want to get in. No, it's too risky. This is startup with something that's never been done before on a scale like this. I've never seen anything like this. This is creating a new category, again, connected with a billion-dollar brand. That's not going anywhere. That does things right. Okay, so the person who invited you, They view you as somebody they think could be successful at this business. They think you're somebody who's ambitious. We don't teach people to go after their friends or brother-in-laws. They get off work and lay on the couch and drink beer. Hey, think about that. How do your friends have you talking? How do your friends have you dressing? Who are you hanging around? Because if you're hanging around the wrong people, that's how you're going to end up. Your income will be the average of the 5 people closest to you. We don't want a bunch of mopes into this business. It won't work. If you spend the next 3 months trying to talk your friend into doing this that's mastered quitting everything his whole life and he quits, you have no right to complain. All right? Your friend invited you because he thinks or she thinks you're somebody that could be one of the 3 or 4 or 5 that they need, because you only need 5 people will set you up for life. And frankly, they don't have enough time to work with more than 5 people. That's it. 5 people. That's what we're looking for. So are you an A, B, or C? Are you one of the C's? And MB30, 120 millionaires created in the first 10 years. There's going to be 500 at least from now. I don't mean like 500 because there's already a bunch of people on the way to become millionaires. I predict there will be 500 or so millionaires in the next 10 years of XANGO, and over 70% will be under age 30. You guys want to be part of this. I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me up here. And Nick, come on back up here, big stud.
Tell me that's awesome. That's how you set yourself on fire. When there's nothing left to burn, that's how you do it right there. You set yourself on fire. You know, Joe Morton always says, you know, this is called human touch marketing. Guess what the MB30 people are going to start calling it? Human torch marketing. They're going to get on fire. And this is, like you said, this is happening with or without you. This is what's really going on. And we're dedicated to everyone here. We're going to have meetings here every single week. Sometimes 2 to 3 a week if necessary. But we've been having them every single week, and we see it grow, we see it grow, and we see it grow. Get plugged in, get with the people that brought you here, ask the questions you need, and get started. That's all there is to it. You know, there's so many things going on, and the vision, you just saw it laid out. You saw how it works, you saw what potential there could be, and we just want to thank you for coming tonight. This has been an incredible event, and we really appreciate everybody's support and everyone coming and make sure, you know, you make that choice. You know, choose to be your own boss. Choose to be that person that's helping your parents retire. Choose to be that person that's giving yourself that financial freedom. So thank you so much for coming. Let's get everything started, and we can get the we have sign-up sheets. If you want to sign up right now, let's do it. We have it right here. So get started and let's do it. Thanks a lot for coming.